No DNA tests, no blood types, no Maury Povich, no you are the father moment under studio lights. So when a woman in the ancient world genuinely did not know who fathered her kid, how did anyone figure it out? Rome's solution to an unsolvable biological mystery? Just legislate the answer. The rule was pater est quem nuptiae demonstrant. The father is whoever the marriage says it is. Translation: if you were married, congratulations, you're the dad. The law did not care about your actual involvement, your travel schedule, or your suspicions. Marriage certificate beats biology every single time. Was this scientifically accurate? Absolutely not. Did Rome care? Also no. This was never about truth. It was about keeping inheritance and family names tidy, so nobody had to have an awkward conversation at dinner while dividing up the family estate. And it wasn't just a one-time rule. Roman jurists spent real effort building out exceptions and edge cases, like minimum and maximum pregnancy lengths, to figure out whether a child born suspiciously early or suspiciously late still legally counted as the husband's. Yes, ancient Rome had bureaucrats arguing about pregnancy timelines the way modern accountants argue about tax deadlines. Unmarried mothers, meanwhile, got zero legal shortcuts. No marriage to hide behind meant the mother alone carried the consequences, which, historically speaking, is the least surprising plot twist ever. Society. We built an entire legal fiction to protect married fathers from awkward questions, but you're on your own. Medieval Europe took a different approach. Instead of solving the mystery, just prevent it from ever happening by making sure absolutely everyone was watching you at all times. Small villages meant zero privacy. If your husband left for war, trade, or a pilgrimage that could last a year or more, the entire town became an unofficial surveillance unit, tracking your every move like a very judgmental reality show nobody agreed to be on. Who you talked to, how long you talked to them, whether you smiled a little too warmly at the miller, all of it got filed away as potential evidence. If suspicion ever did creep in, the church happily stepped in with public penance and shame spirals. Because apparently nothing settles a paternity question quite like humiliating someone in front of the whole congregation on a Sunday morning. And if a dispute somehow made it all the way to court, same Roman logic recycled 1,000 years later. Married mom, husband's kid, argument over, everyone go home. It's less justice system and more, we already decided, we're just making it official. There's also the fact that pregnancy itself was tracked with the intensity of a modern group chat. Midwives, mothers-in-law, and neighbors would compare notes on exactly when the baby was conceived, how big the bump was at what week, and whether the timeline added up, all without a single calendar app to help. With no actual science available, people just invented science and said it with a completely straight face. Baby's nose looks like the husband's? Case closed. That's the father. No further investigation needed. Justice served via nostril shape. Baby has the same short temper as grandpa. Also apparently admissible evidence somehow. Then there's my personal favorite, maternal impression. The theory that if a pregnant woman thought about another man too much, or even just looked at a painting of a handsome stranger for too long, her baby could literally end up looking like him. No affair required. Just vibes and imagination, apparently powerful enough to override genetics entirely. Incredible how convenient this excuse turned out to be for literally everyone involved. The mother got an out, the husband got to keep his pride, and the whole village got a very entertaining rumor either way. Some cultures leaned on birthmarks the same way. A mark in a certain spot was read as a sign, an omen, sometimes even a message from beyond, all standing in for the blood test nobody had invented yet. People weren't being silly on purpose. They were doing the very human thing of needing an answer, badly enough that any answer, however shaky, felt better than none. This wasn't just village gossip for entertainment. Paternity was basically a life-or-death game of Monopoly, with your family's entire future as the stakes. Inheritance, land, titles, trade rights, family name, legitimacy, all of it rode on who got officially stamped dad. Get labeled illegitimate and congratulations. You've lost the inheritance lottery before you could even talk, let alone defend yourself. In some places, illegitimate children were legally barred from inheriting property at all, no matter how biologically related they actually were, proving once again that these systems were never really about biology in the first place. So really, all these elaborate systems, laws, spying neighbors, nose-shaped forensics, maternal impression theories, weren't built to find truth. They were built to protect property and reputation, just dressed up in the costume of morality so it looked more respectable than, we're really just worried about who gets the farm. So what was a woman supposed to do in a world with zero tests and unlimited judgment? Mostly, perform certainty like her life depended on it. Because honestly, it kind of did. Claim the husband as father regardless of any private doubts, every time, without hesitation, because hesitation itself could be read as guilt. Time the pregnancy announcement suspiciously well around his homecoming, whether that took careful math or a little creative storytelling. And above all, cultivate a reputation so spotless that nobody would even think to question her. Because once questioned, there was no lab result to save you. Some women leaned on midwives and female relatives as informal character witnesses, building a wall of trusted voices around themselves before rumors could even start. Others simply outlived the question altogether. Silence, time, and a town's short attention span solving what no test ever could. Because here's the twist ending. Without science, a woman's reputation basically became the paternity test. No labs, no swabs, no waiting 3 business days for results. Just, well, she seems trustworthy. And that was somehow supposed to be enough to settle something as permanent as inheritance and family name. No DNA, no labs, just laws, nosy neighbors, questionable nose-based science, maternal impression theories, and an awful lot of vibes. Turns out one of humanity's oldest questions was answered less with facts and more with confidence, gossip, and outfits designed to look extremely respectable while everyone quietly panicked underneath. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient guesswork, subscribe to the Chronicler, and tell me in the comments which solution was the most unhinged.